Hi, this is Delia from Delia Creates, and today we are going to make a color-blocked crochet beanie. You'll need DK or size 3 yarn in 3 colors. I used 27 grams of pink, 28 grams of peach, and 46 grams of the orange-red color. I use merino wool, but acrylic works great too. Just make sure that the yarns feel similar in density and thickness. This pink wool from Lion Brand is thinner than the others from Knit Picks. This works okay as the center color, but if it were the hem, the proportions would be off. You also need a 3.5mm hook, a stitch marker, yarn needle, and scissors. Before you begin, prep your yarn. This is optional, but it helps tremendously with switching between colors to wind your yarn into balls or cakes. Now, starting with the peach color, tie a slip knot. We are going to start with a chainless foundation single crochet, which actually starts with 2 chains, but that will be it. You won't have to work into a starting chain. So, chain 2. Insert your hook into the first chain. Yarn over and pull through. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 1 loop, then yarn over and pull through both loops. This creates a single crochet on the top side and a chain on the underside, all with 1 stitch. Insert your hook under the 2 loops from the previous stitch, which is technically the chain or the underside. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 1 loop, then yarn over and pull through both loops. To make sure you're inserting your hook into the correct loops, I'm going to show this one more time. These are the 2 loops you want to go under. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Work a total of 16 stitches. Now we switch colors. Pull out a long loop. You don't want the loop to get pulled out as you work each row. Then insert your hook through the 2 loops below the long loop right there. Now bring in the new yarn, leaving a tail about 5 inches long. Lay the new yarn over the hook and pull through the 2 loops on your hook. Then continue working chainless foundation single crochet just as you were with the other color. Work a total of 14 stitches, then switch to the 3rd color. Pull out a long loop, insert your hook into the 2 loops below. Lay the new yarn on top of the hook and pull through. Continue working chainless foundation single crochet for 29 stitches. This part is longer because it will become the brim. Row 1 is done. Now turn for row 2. Chain 1, then from here on out we will be working single crochet in the back loops only. You can see here that there are 2 loops on top of the stitches. We are going to insert our hook in the loop at the back or farthest away from us, then single crochet. Continue working single crochet in the back loops only until you get to the next color. When you get to the next color, pull another long loop, then move the working yarn, the yarn you pull from the ball or cake, to the front of the row before switching colors. This side and all even rows are now the wrong side of our beanie. I like to add a stitch marker to this side so I don't forget or get confused. Insert your hook through the 2 loops under the long loop, just like before. Then place the long loop of the next color over the hook and pull it tight. Pull the new color's loop through the 2 loops on your hook. Then continue working single crochet and back loops only. Repeat the process for the next color change. Pull up a long loop, insert your hook through the 2 loops below, bring the working yarn towards you before you place the next color's loop over the hook. Pull the new color through the 2 loops and continue single crocheting in back loops only, taking care that you don't miss the first stitch as it can sometimes get pulled tight and hide behind the color change. When you get to the end of the 2nd row, instead of working in back loops only, simply work through the last stitch like a normal single crochet through both loops. This is optional, but this is how I like to turn to the next row. Chain 1, insert your hook into what will be the back loop when you turn your work, then turn and complete the single crochet stitch. This makes accessing that first back loop much easier. When you get to the next color change, remember that we're on row 3, so it's an odd row or the right side of our beanie. After we pull a long loop, we want the working yarn to be laid behind our work this time. Lay the next color loop on the hook, pull it through the loops, and continue working single crochet and back loops only. Repeat the next color change the same way with the working yarn to the back. For row 3 and beyond, I also like to finish the ends a little differently. You can continue simply working in both loops of the last stitch if you want, but I like to work under this bumpy third loop here and the chain 1 from the previous row there. It creates a nice straight edge that looks good from both sides. Now I'm going to cover some common issues and troubleshooting tips, the first one being all the color changes will cause tangles. It's easier to untangle after each row than to let it get this bad. 2, if you're struggling to get your hook in under the 2 loops at the color change, you have to pull the stitch out and try again. Sometimes that last stitch gets pulled too tightly. The best thing is just to redo it. 3rd, if you need to pull out some stitches and it crosses a color change, take care to pull that loop through and long again before pulling out the next color. The reason for this is there's a very distinct look at the color changes on each side. On the wrong side, it's a little twisted, and on the right side, it's a clean zigzag. If you let the long loop get pulled through, this is actually what some color change methods tell you to do. It will create a horizontal stitch of yarn at the color change spot that ruins the seamless effect. So we want to avoid this and protect those long loops. If you ever lose that loop on accident, it happened to me a couple of times, you have to go back and re-establish the loop before you can continue. You can also put a stitch marker through the loop to prevent it from pulling through. Continue working single crochet and back loops only, making sure you lay the working yarn to the back on odd rows or with the right side facing up. And on the even rows or with the wrong side facing up, make sure to lay the working yarn to the front or toward you. Work a total of 91 rows. At this point, it may or may not look like a perfect rectangle, but as long as your stitch count is correct, this can be fixed with some hand shaping or blocking. As you can see, both sides look pretty good, but the wrong side color changes are a little bumpier than the right side. Now we're going to seam the rectangle into a tube. Normally we would place right sides facing each other, but because the brim gets folded up, I want my good seam at the brim, so I'm going to fold the rectangle with wrong sides facing. We're going to seam the tube together with single crochet and back loops only, starting at this corner. This is the starting single crochet side opposite where you ended your last row. Insert your hook through that corner, then grab the loop from your last row and pull it through to connect these sides. Chain 1, then insert your hook through back loops of each layer before completing each single crochet. So insert through the front layer, then the back layer, then complete the single crochet. Here's a closer look. When you get to the color change, your stitches should have matched up stitch for stitch. If it's off, you may need to go back to the beginning to see which stitch you skipped. The color change process is the same. Pull up a long loop, insert your hook into the 2 loops below, etc. The only difference is that after you've worked a few stitches in the new color, you can pull the previous color's loop all the way through. Cut a 5-inch tail and then get that yarn out of the way so that you don't have to deal with any more tangles. Continue single crocheting in back loops only, work the next color change the same way, and then single crochet to the end. Now cut a long tail about a foot long and pull it through your last stitch to tie off your end. As you can see, this seam is obvious, less so when you wear it though, but when you fold up the brim, seamless. To sew together the top of the hat, turn the hat inside out. This is how the hat looks with the wrong side brim facing out, in case you want to see it this way. Now we are going to use the long tail to sew the top of the hat closed. Thread it onto a yarn needle and weave it through the stitches around the opening of the top of the hat. Side note, if you want a less bulky hat top, you can modify the ending and beginning 4 stitches on this side of the hat to be slip stitches. It should create a less bulky gather. I personally like a bunchy hat top, and I find slip stitches onerous with a hook this small, but I wanted to mention the option if it matters to you. Once you've made it around the perimeter of the opening, pull on the tail to gather it in, then sew around the now smaller perimeter again. As the opening gets more and more cinched, start to sew across the opening to fully close it up. Once you feel the opening is closed and secure and that it looks good from the right side, tie the beginning and ending tails together with a square knot for extra security, and then weave in the rest of the long tail for several inches before cutting off the excess. Weave in all the other tails, and that's it. You end up with a cute, color-blocked, cozy, super stretchy ribbed beanie. For more tutorials and free patterns, visit deliacreates.com.